We'll continue our session on the subject called Why Manager Fails. And we had seen a couple of scenarios yesterday, and we are going to have the more outlook on the same subject with the different perspectives and different points to be discussed. So our today's conversation will start with another scenario, which is called the poor decision making. See, actually, if I make a statement that managers are afraid of taking the decisions, managers don't want to take decision. If I make this statement is not wrong. Percentage scale can differ from organization to organization, individuals to individual, but managers are afraid of taking the decisions. And what happened? They don't take the decisions, and finally postponing the decision is also a way of not taking the decision. And finally decision has to be taken because you have to conclude the subject. And after that, what happens? That you take a decision in hasty way. Let's complete this, let's do this. So when you do that, actually you should have given sufficient time to collaborate on the subject before you take a decision. So in place of using your sufficient time to collaborate on the subject and take the decision, I don't know what goes in the mind, but with the fear of not taking the decision, by investing a good time on collaborations, good time on discussion with team members, implementing the right decision-making processes, we keep postponing our decisions, and ultimately, some or other day, one day, fine morning, you have to take the decision. And when you take the decision based on whatever your pre-biased conditions are there, not on the based on the cumulative or collaborative studies. And then your decision goes fail. So it is a very interesting phenomena that managers are restricting, or managers are keeping them away from taking the decisions and quick decisions. Manager of a restaurant has been asked by the owners, look, our sales are dropping, just try to investigate something. Now the manager is not investigating. He said, what can I do? Customers are not coming, okay. He keep postponing this concept. And in place of identifying the reasons, what's the problem, do your chef has a problem, or do your quality has deteriorated, or your menu card is outdated, or some better restaurants have come around, so you need to change. In place of doing all these things, what he does, he immediately changes his menu card to something he feels is an attractive menu card. But that menu card further decreases the sales. Further sales decreases means customer dissatisfaction has increased. So the most important point here is that as a manager, consider yourself manager today in the workshop for complete workshop period, that you should not postpone the decision making process. If you postpone the decision making process, or you don't do a complete analysis what decision you need to take, you are bound to take the poor decisions. Now we'll look into the work environment and culture. See, if you talk, why manager fails. So if somebody has been asked to write on a whiteboard what are the 3-4 main reasons why manager fails. So one thing you will write that manager is not competent. Okay, very good. Manager is competent, but he's not putting the efforts Means he is not investing his time or is not putting a serious efforts on the task. Third is, there are scenarios around manager which manager is not able to control. His subordinates are working fine, not working fine. He is not able to control his clients. He is not able to collaborate with his clients. And so that means for manager failure also, it's not only manager who is responsible. The environment around manager is also important. But as a manager, it becomes your prime responsibility to understand that if you cannot address all these concerns, personal growth, surroundings, anything, you are bound to fail. Failure is not constant. If you fail, no problems. You work on your failures. Demonstrate that you are seriously taking your failure and you are improvising. But if you continue, that's not good. Because that will make you a concept of accepting the errors and concept of not accepting the errors. This is very important. So if you keep accepting the errors, you keep tolerating the things, it will make you a poor manager. So that's why manager has to be highly attentive. If I discuss this particular subject, creating a toxic work environment, managers who engage in bullying or favoritism creates a hostile environment that negatively impact employees' morale and productivity. See, if you are not competent as a manager, if you are not doing your homework completely, okay, you will try to build your own team with your own favoritism. You will try to bully who try to say truth in front of you because you don't want to listen to truth. And what happened exactly in this case? You are losing the quality parameters. You are losing the quality employees. You are losing your productivity. And it's not 1 day, 2 days job, by the way. Huh? It's not 1 day, 2 day job. It's a long era where you have to sustain your own growth. If you are manager today, you want to continue as a manager for lifelong? No. You want to raise in ladders. You want to reach to the office of Chief Operating Officer, CEO, Chief Finance Officer, CMD, MD. So you have to demonstrate that you are a good leader. By all these shortcuts of favoritism and all, will not make you long lasting in the industry. And how to avoid this toxicity? Promote respect and open communication, addressing toxic behaviors to create an inclusive and positive work environment. Don't restrict yourself. Really, don't restrict yourself for open communications. The time you give command to your brain and to your ears that you want to listen only which you want to listen, the same time toxicity start increasing in your environment because you are not listening. You are not listening the facts. You stop listening the realistic situations. And that really makes a big impact on the environment in office, and it directly increases the toxic environment in the office environment. Lack of strategic thinking. See, as I told, that as a manager, you should look beyond. Yesterday I was telling, don't swim inside the bottle. Try to look the bottle from the outside. So the manager often focus on daily tasks, neglecting the long-term strategy goals which can stifle innovation and growth. Once you become manager, remember, you are not operator, you are not supervisor, you are not engineer. You are not sitting on the floor. You have to make sure that you provide all the required support to continue your operations because you are operations manager. If required, operation manager should be able to operate machine. There is no doubt about it. I'm not challenging that. But that is his not routine business. The routine business for him is keep thinking, keep solving the problems. That is where the strategy comes into the picture. As a manager, you build strategy. You make your strategy. As a manager, if I ask you a simple question, you are a manager, okay? Operations manager. And suppose your company immediately gets an order which is 2 times of the capacity of your daily production. And your CEO calls, guys, look, it's a business, we are getting an order. How will you fulfill? So you should have a strategy for that. You should know, are we going to make our more shifts operations? Or do we know, can we buy a similar product from somebody, or we can use other facilities to produce more? Can we increase our productivity per shift or per hour productivity? So all these things are the part of strategic thinking. A product manager prioritizing immediate features releases may ignore broader market trends, resulting in an outdated product. It's your responsibility to look what is a trend, ongoing trends are there, what you need to produce. You cannot wait once the trends get established and then you think that now let me produce. By that time, that trend will get obsolete. So designer will give every 3 to 4 months, the garment industry goes under a severe change, sea-phase change. So when you are getting the design, futuristic design for the garments in textile industry, as an operations manager or a product manager or as a production manager, it's your responsibility to ensure that you have all the resources, raw material, your design fabrics available with you to produce for next summer. You cannot wait for summer to come and then start producing, no. Because all the shipment to USA and Europe, they travel for textile industry, they travel 3 months in advance. So by the time seasons start, the product for the seasons are already on the shelf. So that's why, that is how the things need to be planned in advance. And developing the strategic mindset is very critical. And by the way, no need to wait that one day I will be manager, so I will start thinking strategically. No. Start thinking now. Why we are taking up this subject since yesterday and today, that couple of you may be already in managerial position, couple of you will be a future managers. So work on yourself, get ready, be fit to be a manager, so that manager don't fail. That's why developing mindset, futuristic vision, you must keep thinking. Think what best can be done, what more better can be done in this scenario. In Hindi, I'll use some sentences, then I'll come back to this slide, okay? हो जाएगा सर, हो जाएगा, आप चिंता मत करो, ओके? आपको चिंता करने की कोई जरूरत नहीं, साहब, हो जाएगा. The meaning is, sir, don't worry, it will be done. Am I right? This one called over-promising or just making yourself a yes man without understanding the truth or without understanding the realistic scenario. Don't do over-promising and then start under-delivering. No. What will happen because of this? You will lose the trust. When managers make unrealistic promises, it damages their credibility and erodes trust with their teams and stakeholders. Forget senior management. First of all, your team start not believing you. Oh, this manager, he put any commitment there and he comes. If you have been really compressed some time about the targets and your senior management said, look, Nitin, there's no way out. We have to do it because it's the credibility of company. This kind of situation should not happen every day, by the way. Okay, if there is happening every day, that means there is something wrong. That means you have a lack of resources either, or you do not have the production capacity sufficient. So that's why your management want to push you hard every time and every day. Your team cannot take that pressure for 365 days. You have to understand as a manager. Build the system for that. Don't lose the confidence of your team. Don't do over-promising and then under-delivering. Consequences of over-promising. Our example says that a sales manager promising unrealistic delivery dates lead to loss of trust and reputation damages. If you are not able to keep your sales promises, delivery promises, what's the purpose of you as a sales manager? So the point here is, try to make the realistic commitments, because that's the only way out you have in your hand. Got the point? Do not overpromise, or to promise, ensure your promises are realistic promises. And work on that, by the way. Recognition and management practices. Okay. Failing to recognize and reward. The manager will come today and he will say, wow, great job done, huh? Let's continue because we have to produce today also 20% extra, 30% extra. That's why in that Kaizen and those Toyota production management practices, TPMs, Six Sigma and everything, when the toolbox meeting happens in the morning, there is an individual employee's recognition is there, where their efforts are being praised, what great job they did yesterday, individual recognition. Because why it is important, I always give this example more often in my offices also. That see, you may get your CEO award once in a year. You may get your top management awards once in a year, because they are not, if they start giving award every day, then they will lose that credibility. But one thing within the group or within the team can always be done, that we reward each other, we recognize each other. We must acknowledge the credentials of each other. We acknowledge the good work of each other, and we work as a collaborative team. So as a manager, it's become your moral responsibility. It's a mandatory responsibility to you to keep the morale high for your team. You do a recognition, a reward. A reward could be a pen and pencil, that's not important. The reward is those good words, those right words, which has been told for the one individual's performance. If not possible, bring some management letters for recognition for the team. So recognition is also in Hindi they say na, तारीफ किसको पसंद नहीं है? Who does not like appreciation? Everybody likes appreciation. So it's a human tendency. So you should have a system which has a recognition, rewards. See, punishment cannot be linked to productivity. Punishment has a direct impact on productivity. If it has a direct impact, that means it can directly reduce productivity. So similarly, recognition and reward can accelerate your productivity. So if you have a punishment as a tool, use it in extremely rare cases. But use recognition and reward very often. And then you will see that your team works with very high morale. This is very important. We discussed this yesterday. Baba, stop doing this micromanagement. Now you are Mudir, you are manager now. So what happens? That indicates the manager has not grown up. Manager is still the level where he started his career. No, don't do that. Don't do micromanaging. Let the team do their predefined jobs. There was a time for you to do that job, you finish. Come on, now you don't do that. You do a strategic vision. You do a bigger level umbrella job. And when you start getting inside the job of micromanagement, the team start thinking, why am I worth or not? Why? Why even why our manager every time comes and intervene our small things? Don't even look at it. As a good manager, give the clear targets. Take the commitment that okay, we'll finish this in 2 hours, or we'll finish by end of the day, and then go and figure out your job. Don't stay there. So the point here is, this kind of micromanagement is impact very heavily on the morale of your team. If manager has to work, let him work, then why should I work? An accounting manager reviewing every transaction leads to feeling of distress among accountants. Baba, accountant is making all the entries. As an account manager, why you are checking all the entries? Of course, nobody is stopping you to check the percentage. Check 5% entry, 2% entry as a checks, no problem. That is your responsibility also, to ensure the system works with a good quality. But if you repeat the same job, you have many more jobs in your, you have many more ledgers to check. You have many more ledgers to be reported to the senior management. Strategies to avoid: empower employees by trusting their abilities, providing support, and focusing on outcomes instead of processes. Very good. I told, assign the job, take the time commitment, ask, do you need any support? If it's okay, let's meet after 2 hours. By the time you finish job, then we'll quickly review this task or what you have done. That's that arrange. So your employee who's under your umbrella has a full freedom to deliver in that 2 hours right goods for you. So stop micromanaging the things. Ignoring the feedbacks. Do not ignore the feedbacks. They are very critical, by the way. And why they are critical? The manager often create an echo chamber by ignoring feedback, which can lead to missed opportunities for improvement. You want to hear only what you speak, or which feels good for your ears. No, relax. Listen to all the feedbacks. See, as a manager, when you are not working by hand, okay, but you want to know threadbare information. What is the way of understanding? What is the way of taking the feedbacks? It's only your feedback system. So be patient to listen. Listen each and every feedback which is coming to you. You are not doing anything, rather you are relaxing, you are listening, so that you can make a right decision. One person is coming from the floor, he's a floor manager, and he's telling you, sir, my machine number 7 is giving a problem, and it's giving me problem because I have seen for 2-3 days and I have an opinion that let's get it checked, call the manufacturer to get it checked. You ignore, you say, no, nothing will happen, don't worry. Okay, you don't want to hear that something is bad or something like that, correct? So you don't want to hear that. He came again and he told you that after 2-3 days, sir, the noise level has increased, let's get it checked, the system. You still ignore. After 10 days, what happened? You lost that machine. And there is a production loss of 5%, 10% because of that machine. And now it is a major fault. So you are going to spend more money. Time duration to put that machine back in operation will be more. So what happened? It's a very small example. A sales manager, a marketing team, if your numbers are dropping in a particular market, in a particular region, a particular demography, and you are not taking cognizance of it, your competitors are encroaching the market, they are displacing you, and still you are keeping your eye closed, you want to hear only what no, some numbers are very good, numbers are very good. No, numbers are not good. Your numbers have started getting hit. And before getting the hit, you have a lot of feedbacks, you have a lot of mechanism to understand it. So understand it. Don't close your eyes. वो कहते हैं ना, in Hindi they say that बिल्ली की आंख मीच लेने से दुनिया में अंधेरा नहीं हो जाता. If the cat closes eye, the world is not dark. So that is what I am trying to make a point here, that ensure that you do not allow any feedback to bypass you, or you don't bypass any feedback. You do not ignore any feedback. Take the feedback with very healthy spirit. Feedback could be bad, good. Always don't keep the habit of ears to hear the good things. No. If you are have a capability to hear all kind of feedbacks, then you are really fit for a manager. Hiring and work-life balance. Bad hiring decisions. Here I will not blame manager 100%. Okay, but because in one CV and 1 or 2 round of interviews, you cannot really judge a person. That is fact. Okay, so manager want to hire somebody for his team, and he has this limited information. There is every possibility, or there is a more and more possibility that you are taking a bad decision. It could be good also. Okay, so but there is a chance, potential is there, that you are taking a bad decisions. The companies like Google, Microsoft, and there are many multinationals are there who are taking multiple rounds of interviews. You are being scanned from every angle. Sometimes HR, sometimes operations, sometimes technical, sometimes finance. You will not come to know even. And it is only to ensure the product, that employee which is getting entered into a company premises should be fit and should support the hiring decisions. Selecting candidate based solely on technical skills can lead to team dysfunction and workflow disruption. So that's why now the multiple interviews in multinational takes place, just because not only to check the technical capabilities but to check his overall profiling. How his communication skills are there, how he able to manage with the stress, how he is able to have an interpersonal relationship, how is his nature, how he collaborates, how he accommodates others, is his ears are open for feedbacks, everything. So that's why the bad hiring decision by a manager could collaborate or can lead to a bad situation for manager as well as the whole organization. And this process is costly, guys. If you are not getting the right person on board with you, see, you are spending time, energy, your waiting time has increased and everything, and still you are not okay in 6 months' time. When the person is on board with you, then your cycle again restarts. So you are losing. It's a costly affair. So try to see a mechanism. Try to see the mechanism beyond the interviews or beyond the technical capabilities and beyond the CVs, that how to hire that, to whom to be hired. Keep a watch, keep eyes on the industry companionships and who own the who has owned the credibility, and especially nowadays from this social media platform, LinkedIn and all, is giving you a lot of strength. So build your strength on the LinkedIn also to present the facts and get more exposed to the appointers or the organizations who are hiring you. So, and even as a manager, you should take a right decision. You must use social media platform also to check on all the aspects. It will not guarantee you that you are getting the right candidate, but at least you have a strength. You get additional points to evaluate. Work-life balance. As I said, manager is a kind of, I'm calling another word. The manager is a kind of a family doctor for his own team. Manager is a family doctor for his team. So he supports them. He supports them mentally, emotionally. If possible, he can arrange some financial workshop also to address the financial problem of his employees. Simple. So it's a family doctor role. As a manager, it becomes mandatory for you to ensure that your employees are able to maintain good work-life balance, and that will help you to grow, that will help your team to grow and be productive as required by the targets. So that's consider yourself as a ownership of your team, okay, and a family doctor concept when you want to be a successful manager. Self-awareness and performance management now. Self-awareness is very important. Managers who lack self-awareness often remain oblivious to their weaknesses, limiting their effectiveness and growth. You must know what are your strengths and what are your weaknesses. And by the time you become manager, you should be 100% sure what are your strengths and what are your weaknesses. And you must work on your weaknesses continuously and try to multiply your strength. Convert your weakness into the strength. Because if you carry your weakness for long, that means you are ignoring a cycle of improvement. And if you are losing the cycle of improvement, that means there is a problem in your leadership qualities. Aggressive communication styles can intimidate team members, creating a culture of fear and hindering productivity. Very simple. Feedback and growth. Seeking constructive feedback and being open to reflection can help managers develop self-awareness and improve their leadership skills. A big jump. Feedback, growth. So that's why, and it's not only your responsibility as a manager to be self-aware. Yesterday I was telling, there is a position called industrial psychologist, which is normally not available at a larger scale. But you have to play that role also. If you are not able to do it, no problems. Bring some consultant to make self-awareness among your employees also. Because if you say your employees, make sure that it doesn't be told as a pinpoint on them. It is told them as, let's improve our things. Let's improvise our performance in this area. Let's improvise our self-growth in these areas. So before that, you should be self-aware. And for a manager, it's not your self-awareness. For as a manager, your team should also be self-aware. What are the strengths and weaknesses? Then only they will be able to collaborate with each other. They will compensate weaknesses of each other. They will take the benefit of strength of others. So as a manager, it becomes your big responsibility to bring the collaboration to this level. Absence of guidance. I use the word the family doctor, okay. Means that could be very good to imagine a manager role, manager position. Absence of guidance, a lack of guidance from managers can lead to confusion and decreased employees' motivation in performance management. Strategic management, performance management, okay. How you are performing, how you are managing your performance, how you are managing continuously your performance throughout the year, 365 days. So if you are not able to guide your employees, it will lead to a confusion and the motivation. Keep some small milestones. Keep some small achievable targets at a more better frequency in place of putting a big task. Correct? So the point here is that we must ensure as a manager that we are guiding our team, and we are just not guiding our team, we are guiding our team with a performance-driven milestones. Don't tell them, I want you to complete this 20 tasks by end of the month. Tell him, okay, let's finish 3 tasks this week. Next week we'll target around 10 tasks so that we can slowly keep our big targets and we can complete the targets by the month end. So these are all guidance. And the in turn becomes a motivation to your employees that he feels he's being not loaded virtually or he's not loaded unnecessarily where his performance is getting deteriorated. And when you do that, when you provide this kind of objective-driven targets clearly, what happens actually? The employees get clear idea what they are supposed to do, and when they are clear about it, what they are supposed to do, automatically they work on that objectives. They work to meet that performance. Underestimating organizational culture. Ignoring organizational culture can lead to significant disconnect between management and employees, affecting overall morale. See, one statement we have not told since the yesterday's session, but I was waiting for this slide to come. A manager is a bridge between, and we all know by this, a manager is a bridge between the senior management and the employees. So the organization culture, organization processes, organization strategies reaches to each employee through their managers. So it becomes your moral responsibility to ensure that your each employee vibrates at company culture. He follows the company culture. And if they follow that, I'm guaranteeing you, because always the company cultures, company vision and mission are written with very high expectations. So if your each employee is synchronized with that, your company objective is met. I was giving an example of Google and Microsoft. Now they're 16, 17, multiple interview cycles they're taking. I do not know exactly, but multiple interviews are there. So what they check exactly? They check one more thing. Does the DNA of this employee to whom we are going to hire, does his DNA matches with the company DNA? And what is company DNA? Company culture, company vision, company mission, company objectives, company goals, company strategies, alike how company think. So an employee DNA is scanned with a matching format with organization DNA. And then the selection happens when it matches. So that's why as a manager it becomes your moral responsibility to connect the organization culture to an employee. Avoiding difficult conversations. Very important. Remember when we had our session on the negotiation skills. So in that we had a discussion about one point, that conflict resolution is one of the important parameters to be considered while negotiating. And how to resolve conflict? The conflict should be resolved in such a way that conflict should be smelled before it becomes a conflict. The source of conflict should be identified or smelled. So the manager has to ensure that the difficult conversation arising out of the conflicts, mismatches, non-alignments should not grow. So try to resolve the conflicts through an open communication and dialogues. Guys, look, let's meet at 4 o'clock and let's discuss our differences. Straight. What's wrong in that? Allow. And make sure that the conversation happens in a very healthy manner, in a deep dive. I will not say that short-term focus should not be made. Short-term focus should be made. But short-term focus should not be a practice of implementing the long-term goal. You have a short-term goals and long-term goals. Do not ignore your long-term goals or mid-term goals at the cost of short-term goals. You have to simultaneously work on the three. So fix a balance, because say for example, I'll just read the example. Cutting budgets for immediate gains, okay, this quarter cut the budget, can lead to negative long-term effect on employees' development and overall competitiveness. You cut the budget this quarter, okay, but what happened? Your project got delayed where you are doing the long-term investment. And what happened? Because of this, your plant is not ready or your service fabric structure is not ready. And that's why you are not able to produce the things before it reaches, before your competitor start producing it. So it's always good to be an early stage. Continuous learning is very important. As I said, the day you complete your academic course and you get out, you have a degree in your hand. Next day, if you don't open the book of knowledge for any other reason, any other book of knowledge, you are become obsolete. So you must keep learning every day. It's a universal fact. I am manager, I know everything is not truth at all. Forget this concept. You need to improvise yourself, otherwise you will be obsolete. So in conclusion, common managerial pitfalls. Recognize common pitfalls in crucial for managers to avoid failure and improve their effectiveness. Make sure that you follow emotional intelligence. Plays a vital role in effective management, helping leaders connect and engage with their teams. Focus on communication. Effective communication is essential for successful management, fostering collaboration and transparency among team members. So focus on communications. Make sure that you keep speaking, but your employees should also speak. Keep all feedback systems open, reporting systems open, collaborative systems open, and continuous learning. So if you do this, manager will not fail. So we started our session, why manager fails. We conclude our session that if the managers or you are my future managers, or you are already manager, if we look into all these aspects of yesterday and today, for sure that manager will not fail. And that was an objective of our 2 day session, that how we can strengthen ourselves, how we build up ourselves for future managers, how we ensure that we do not fail as a manager.